Hello all, I'm Sai and in today's video I'm bringing to you my latest book haul. This is a very short book haul of just 10 books and these 10 books also have been bought by me in the past 3 to 4 months since my last book haul. So I'll just show you all the books that I've bought, the reason behind them and all such other fun stuff. If you want me to read any of these books before any of the other ones, please do let me know down in the comments. And if you have read any of these also, please do let me know your opinions on them in the comments so that I can try to prioritize some books over the others. I just have one non-fiction here and all the rest other 9 books are fiction books. So without any further ado, let's get into the books right away. The first book that I have is an adult standalone fantasy and it is Thistlefoot by Genna Nethercott. The main reason why I went forward and bought this book is because I have heard Sam from Thoughts on Tombs talking about this book really good things in the past year, and I think this was also one of her favorite books from 2023, so I just wanted to go forward and give this book a try. And it is also one book which I have not heard nothing much about from any of the other booktubers that I've seen talking. So in this book we basically follow two siblings who have been separated and grown up apart, and because of some reasons they inherit this house called Thistlefoot, which is basically the sentient house that walks along with chicken legs, and inside that house there is also the small figurine called the Long Shadow Man, which is kind of sinister. Now both these siblings come together for getting this inheritance, and from then on they have to travel in the house to different parts of America. And the blurb of the book also says that the book is based on Jewish culture and Jewish myths, so I'm very interested to see it because I have not read any books inspired from Jewish myths before. This is also the debut work of the author, so I am interested in seeing how it is going to go. I've heard that the prose of the author in this one is beautiful, so let's just wait and see how it is going to be. And it's also a standalone fantasy which I think will elevate it in my TBR. Next we have the first part in the first book inside a Indian mythology inspired fantasy series called the Burnt Empire Saga, and the first book is Upon a Burning Throne. I actually have the second part of the first book on my shelf. I thought that that was the whole first book itself, and when I started reading the book it did not make sense for me, and on the cover itself it said part 2. I did not see that while I bought the book, and it's been sitting on my shelf for over a year. See how inattentive I've been. So I just went forward and grabbed the first part of that first book. So with this, I have the entire series with me, so I want to start reading this as soon as I can. I've heard really good things about this author Ashok K Banker's books also. I have not read any of them and I want to start with this series, which is basically a modern day retelling of the Mahabharata, but told as a fantasy story. We all know how epic and huge the Mahabharata story is, and adapting that and retelling that as a fantasy story must have been very challenging for the author. I just want to see how he has tackled the story as a whole and who are all going to be the main characters and side characters for the series. Also, I'm not a huge fan of this edition of the covers because they don't look that great, but I have really high hopes for the series. Let's just wait and see. The next one is a very short collection of stories by one of my favorite authors now, and it is Love a Little Stronger by Preeti Shenoy. The reason why I went forward and bought this book rather than any of her other books is because the author sometimes does group readings or book club kind of things in her inner circle community on Instagram, and she announced this book as the first one. I went forward and bought it, and because of so many reasons and my injury I was not able to participate in that reading, so I'm yet to start reading this book. It's also really tiny, you see. I think this is just a collection of love stories written by the author, some also inspired from her own life. I'll just read the blurb from the back of the book for you guys. Life is a collection of moments, some memorable and some mundane. Often it is the tiniest things that bring the greatest joy. Even though at that time we have no idea that what we are witnessing may be magical, something that we will talk about and laugh over after many years. Packed with her hilarious narratives, poignant observations and a writing style loved by millions across the world, this book is certain to strike a chord with anybody who has children or who has been a child themselves. For those who have read 34 Bubblegums and Candies, this is a new version with many additional stories. For others, it is a heartwarming, hilarious and inspiring collection of true anecdotes from the author's life, telling us to love a little stronger no matter what happens. I just know that this is going to be light-hearted and I'm just going to fall in love with it. And also one of the best things about this book when I received is that I got it with a bookmark, okay? Amazon does not send bookmarks anymore. And the seller was good enough to send at least a random bookmark along with the book. So yeah, that makes the book a little bit more special for me. If you have read this book, please do let me know down in the comments how it is, or even better, how good it is. Next we have the only non-fiction book which I have in this book haul, and it is also kind of a companion or sequel to one of the other self-help books or non-fiction books which I read in 2023 last year. I also have a detailed video on that book because it was really inspiring for me. So this book is Manifest Dive Deeper by Roxie Nafousi, which is the second book by the author after her first book, which is Manifest itself. I'll link my video for that first book down in the description. So if you want to know more about it, you can definitely go forward and check it out. I'll read the description from the back cover. It's a little bit difficult for me because, it's just foiling on hardcover. I'll try though. Unlock your limitless potential, create lasting transformative change, and turn your dreams into a reality with the much anticipated follow-up to the Sunday Times bestseller and social media sensation, Manifest 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life. This book takes you deeper into your inner healing journey and expands your understanding of each of the unique 7 steps to manifestation. Roxie Nafousi provides practical techniques to teach you how to harness your potential and confidently step into your power. Each chapter is filled with exercises that are designed to cultivate self-awareness, reflection, and growth, and therefore empower and enhance your manifesting process. That sounds quite vague to me, but I do trust this author because the first book was very, very practical, and this specifically says that it is filled with exercises, which I'm super eager to do. So yeah, very excited for this one, and if it is as good as the first book, I'll definitely do a dedicated video for this one. Next, we have the first 2 books inside an adult fantasy trilogy. I don't have the third book in this book haul because I bought it way back in last year, and this series is the Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang. I have the first book, The Poppy War, and the second book, The Dragon Republic, both by the author. I have the third and final book, The Burning God, already with me, so I'll probably binge through the series ASAP. Now, the first book that I read by R.F. Kuang is Yellow Face, and I read it in July 2023. After that, I read Babel only this month, that is August 2024, when I'm filming this video. And trust me, after reading Babel, I've just fallen in love with the author's writing. She is brilliant. Her books are just amazing. She makes so much intellect be so much accessible to normal people like us. And just see the size of these first 2 books. They are huge, and I'm so much eager to read the series because I've heard nothing but great things about the Poppy War trilogy as a whole. She doesn't do that well in characters or world building, but her writing itself just eats me up. And if I'm not wrong, the author wrote this first book while she was still in college. I don't know. Okay, she is like some other level of brilliant, and yeah, I'm going to cry. If I keep talking about this author, I will cry because Babel had such an enormous impact on me as a person. So this one is a fantasy series that is having the Chino-Japanese War as a backdrop to it. And if I'm not wrong, it also has shaman culture incorporated into it, all of which I'm totally into. If I'm not wrong, this is also borderline military fantasy. I have not read any military fantasy that I know of yet, so this will probably be my first one. It's just wait and see, but I'm super excited to start the series. The next 2 books are adult romance books, and of these the first one is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've read all the other 3 Emily Henry books that were published before this one. I've not read this one and the current release of her alone. I'll definitely finish reading them by the end of the year. Now in this book we follow our 2 main characters, Harriet and Win. I had to lick their names, okay? And the thing about Harriet and Win is that they are such a perfect couple, but they have broken up right now. They've been broken up for the past 6 months, and yearly once what happens is they, along with their most best friends, take this cottage once a year and go on a vacation all together. And they don't want to break their friends' hearts, so Harriet and Win both go to the cottage for the vacation along with their friends and pretend to be still dating each other and still be in love. But it is difficult for them because these people who are their friends know everything, like literally everything about them. And I've heard insanely great reviews for this book last year. Every person, okay, literally every person that I've seen talking about this book has said only good things. I know that Emily Henry writes really, really beautiful, great adult romances because I have read her other 3 books before this one, and I've enjoyed each and every one of them. The thing about her books is that romance is like, not the main part, okay? It's like literary fiction, but with romance as the forefront. Romance is like the screen, but if you open the screen of romance, you can see a lot more stuff going on with the 2 main characters, which makes them feel like they are actual people living actual lives in the real world, which many romances fail to do. So yeah, Emily Henry knows her stuff, and I totally trust her with this book. And seeing all those reviews, I'm like damn sure I cannot be disappointed. Still, let's wait and see. The next one is also another adult contemporary romance, and it is also by the same author, which is Funny Story by Emily Henry, which is her latest release. I bought both of these books together because I got them at a really great deal. And one more thing about this book is that I literally know nothing about this, okay? I did not even read the blurb of the book, even though it's been sitting on my shelf for 1 month, because I wanted to read it for the first time in front of camera, okay? So I'm going to read it now first with you guys. Daphne always loved the way Peter told their story. That is, until it became the prologue to his actual love story with his childhood bestie, Petra. Which is how Daphne ends up rooming with her total opposite and the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. As expected, it's not a match made in heaven, That is, until one night, while tossing back tequilas, they form a plan. And if it involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their adventure together, well, who would blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. I'm able to understand that, but it is still confusing for me, okay, to explain. I'm not able to articulate it to you guys. I'm sure you also understood it. So yeah, this is going to be pretty funny. I can see that and sense that now itself. Again, heard really great things about this book too. I think Emily Henry is just becoming better and better as an author as she keeps on writing books. Fingers crossed, she just keeps writing one book per year like she has been doing for the past 5 years. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this one also. Just see the color of this cover. It goes really well with my hoodie today. So yeah, this is the next book. The last two books inside this book haul are also part of the same series. I have the final book in this series also along with me. I bought that book 3 years back, okay? Just see how bad I am. I bought the last book in the series 3 years back and I bought the first 2 books now. And the series is the Broken Earth Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. The first book is the 5th season and the second book is the Obelisk Gate. I have the last and final book, The Stone Sky, already with me in my bookshelf. Now this is basically a fantasy story that is written after the world has been destroyed multiple times and it is going to be destroyed or self-destruct for the one last time now. I don't think I'm explaining it right. I'll just read the blurb from the first book to you guys. I've just started reading this book and I'm like 60 pages into the first book. It's quite challenging to read. Again, written in second person's point of view, so I haven't read that much books like that before. So here goes the synopsis. This is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and long dormant wounds rising up to fester. This is the stillness and land long familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon and where there is no mercy. It sounds like a dystopian fantasy. I'm really in for it because again heard really great things about it, and all the 3 books inside the series have won the Hugo Award for their respective years, and it is quite astonishing for me from all the things that happened last year. So yeah, I'm super pumped to read the series, and I know that some of you guys have been wanting me to read the series for years now. Finally, I'm going to read it. Let's just cross our fingers and hope that I end up loving it as much as the internet does. So yes guys, those are all the 10 books that I wanted to show to you from my book haul. And if you have read any of these 10 books, please do let me know down in the comments how they are and what I can expect from them. And if you have any other books that you want me to read, also drop those in the comment. I'll try to look them up, and if they interest me, I'll try to buy them and read as soon as I can. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.